We're all trying to get ahead, right? We're always trying to add more skills, more positive habits. But what if the real secret isn't about adding, but subtracting? Today, we are going to dive into this one simple daily practice that could honestly change everything for you. And it all kicks off with a kind of funny story about some smelly chickens. Yeah, I know. From chicken to chicken sounds pretty random, right? But stick with me here, because this is actually the key to unlocking a habit that, well, most of us have. It's this habit of judgment that really keeps us stuck. Let me break it down for you. So, okay, picture this. You're in a crowded market. You can almost smell the spices in the air, right? And there's this woman at the butcher shop. She's looking at a long row of chickens. But she's not just looking, she is smelling them. I mean, one by one, she picks one up, lifts a wing, then a leg, takes a big sniff, and with every single one, she gets this look of total disapproval on her face. She goes down the entire row, and you guessed it, not a single chicken is good enough for her. Now, the butcher, he's been watching this whole thing unfold, and finally you can tell he's just had enough. So he walks over, gently taps her on the shoulder, and he asks her this one simple question. And this question, it changes everything. He looks at her and says, "Ma'am, could you pass a test like that?" Wow. All of a sudden, this isn't about the chickens anymore, is it? It's about her. And, it's about us. I mean, how often do we do that? Go through life just like that woman, judging everything and everyone we meet. Think about it. If we turn that same critical eye on ourselves, what would we even find? So, here's the point of that whole story. We are all a little bit like those chickens, right? We've all got our flaws, our smelly parts. But here's the thing. Just like a flower can grow out of the dirt, we all have this amazing potential to create something beautiful. So the real question isn't about being perfect. It's about whether or not we're actually producing a fragrant blossom in our own lives. And that idea, this whole blossom thing, it really brings us to a fundamental choice. It's a choice we all have to make. Are we going to be actively growing, like that flower? Or are we more like a stagnant pond, just kind of sitting there, letting all the little annoyances of life tangle us up? And this really breaks down those two paths for us. On one side, you've got the stagnant pool. That's a life that gets tangled up, a life full of devious reasons and excuses. A wasted life, really. But on the other side, you have the process of transformation. It's a continuous process, something that's rooted in life itself, something that throws out a blossom. It's a pretty stark choice when you look at it like that, isn't it? All right, so if we're all in on choosing transformation, we've got to understand what's at stake here. And that brings us to something you might not think about a lot, the price of being human. I mean, seriously, have you ever stopped to consider just how expensive it is to be you? I mean, just think about all the stuff we need simply to exist. We need clothes, we need shoes, we need entire buildings, kitchens, just countless arrangements. No other creature on this planet needs so much. A bird builds a nest, and that's it. It's good to go. We, on the other hand, build entire cities. So, for so much expense, for all of these resources that we consume, doesn't this life have to do something better? I mean, shouldn't we be doing something more, something better than every other creature out there? It feels like it comes with a certain responsibility, doesn't it? Okay, so how do we actually start this transformation? How do we live up to that responsibility? Well, it's not by adding another thing to your already packed to-do list. No, the answer is actually much, much simpler. It's about taking something away. It's a little tool called the daily subtraction. Just one. That's all it is. Every single day, your job is to choose just one negative thing and remove it from your life. I know, it sounds almost ridiculously simple, right? But believe me, that's exactly where its power comes from. So what kind of things are we talking about subtracting? Well, it could be a terrible thought you keep having about yourself. Or maybe it's a terrible emotion, like that flash of anger that you just let simmer when someone cuts you off in traffic. It could be a terrible word, that sarcastic comment you were just about to make, or even a terrible action, something small and selfish. Just pick one of those things every single day. Okay, but if it's that easy, why isn't everyone doing it? Good question. Well, there's a reason, and honestly, it's a little bit uncomfortable to talk about. It all comes down to how we experience pain. And the best way to explain it is with, you guessed it, another story. This one's about 2 bricks. All right, we're back in the market. This time, imagine a man from Sudan. He's just arrived at this huge, bustling camel market in Morocco. He's there to sell his camel, but right away his heart just sinks. Because everywhere he looks, all the other camels are just bigger and stronger than his. So, feeling pretty desperate, he goes up to a local seller and asks for the secret. The local guy takes one look at his camel and just says, "Oh, that's simple. You have to castrate it." Whoa. The Sudanese man is, totally taken aback. He asks, "But won't that be incredibly painful for the camel?" The seller just kind of laughs it off. "Nah, not at all," he says. "Here, watch this." And he grabs his own camel, picks up 2 heavy bricks, and then, bam! He smashes them together. The camel lets out this horrible, blood-curdling scream and just takes off running. The Sudanese man is just horrified. He yells, "You said it wouldn't hurt." And the seller, he just shrugs his shoulders and says with this chilling indifference, "It only hurts if you get your finger between the bricks." And that's it. That's the whole problem. Right there. That is the block that stops us. We are so sensitive to our own pain, but we're practically numb to the pain of others. This selective sensitivity, that's why it's so easy to go around smelling the chickens, judging everyone else, without ever once turning that critical eye back on ourselves. Because it's just easier to see the flaws in other people than it is to feel the pain of our own transformation. So here we are. It all comes back to that choice we talked about. We can keep smelling the chickens, right? Keep focusing on what's wrong with everyone else, just so we don't have to deal with our own stuff. Or we can finally acknowledge our own selective sensitivity and start the real hard work of transformation. And remember, your transformation, it doesn't have to be some huge, dramatic thing. It begins with one simple act of subtraction. So I'm asking you, what's it going to be? What is the one thing you will subtract from your life starting right now, today?